And welcome back to the Lost Colony. This is Mr. Joseph, and we are picking up where we left off last time. This is the city of Sunset Valley. And I'm just going over here. We looked at the apartment A building, and we looked at some other stuff in town. And on this episode, we're going to probably pick another building to try to finish up here in town. And if you're playing this at home yourself, I'd recommend doing it this way. I think that it's better to explore town before you really build your base and explore as much as possible in general first so that you know what you're building toward, because building up a big old fancy base and then doing the exploration later, it makes it a little, it takes the difficulty off the scale and it just makes it kind of a pro forma, like I've got a big old super Gatling jet kind of thing, and I'm just going to go around destroying all of the opposition, etc., etc. And I think doing it that way, you lose a little something. You lose a sense of adventure. So I'd prefer to do it this way, where we explore first. I also think that for this playthrough, I'm going to limit myself and not use Gatling turrets at all. Not that there's anything wrong with the Gatling turret, obviously, but it's just that it makes the thing a little bit too easy, or at least. Let me put it this way: I'm not going to build anything with the Gatling turret on it. Uh, and it's not easy per se, but it takes the adventure survival thing out of it. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm just checking these crates for loot, and I think that um, there's probably some good stuff in here, and there's quite a few crates, so I think it's worth getting these real quick and putting them in the truck before I head on into a building. Get some space credit. I love that in any like future kind of thing. Um, I think it's so interesting that space credits are like pre-inflated. Like you never just get one space credit. It's always like 30,000 space credits or whatever. And I just find that interesting that because like I just found 10 space credits in that crate, and I think that it's kind of funny that that's such a weird amount. Okay, what's down here? Let's take a look down here. Okay, we got a hidden area here. Clang Club. Welcome to Clang Club. We don't talk about Clang in here. We don't drink Clang Cola with a C in here. No rotors allowed. No pistons allowed. There is Clang. There is no Clang with a C. There's only Clang with a K. Okay, so it's like a Fight Club joke, I think, with special reference to the concept of Clang in Space Engineers and Medieval Engineers, which is the physics interference bug that happens when you have like objects banging into each other or twisting into each other. It makes this clangy sound and then it destroys objects and sometimes makes the game crash. Okay, so I did mark that. Or did I don't remember, but I'm looking at this console to see if there's anything I can control, and I don't think so. It's just one of these cool tables that I think was added, but I don't think I can actually control anything from there. And they got this custom art that they put on these. This is the Clang Club with a bar and a check-in area, and here is a little corridor. And this looks like a coat check. Again, they use the armor as sort of a clothing rack, and I kind of hate that. I wish they actually had like non-space clothing racks. And let's take a look at this. All right. Permanently banned. Arturo Abbott, importer, provider of Clang Cola. We don't need that trash here. Owen Quinn, permanently banned. We need a new rule about no reporters. And Billy Woodward, 3-month ban. Billy said, Clang or Clang, what's the difference? 3-month ban, we should show him the way. Okay, so that's just the ban list that the bouncer uses to kick people out. Abbott is the primary antagonist there, although Quinn, also an enemy of the Clang Club. Okay, so we'll go ahead and grab these resources as well. And just some generic blocks back here as well. Okay. So that's the clan club. Let's take a look over here. Now this is Seraph's Fine Dining. This is the building. This is a restaurant that's inexplicably pressurized. But it's a beautiful little space. I like how they have diagonal areas, couches, and straight on areas to sit and eat and stuff. Um, so and they've got a jukebox. Let's take a look at that. Let's play this. I think I can just play that, yeah. Okay, let me try adjusting my sound because I think I wasn't hearing much of it. Let's get the oh wow, okay. So yeah, the music being up is an issue, but let's see if I can get it to play now. I mean, it's a very subtle, I don't know if maybe I'm hearing background music, but it feels like I'm just hearing a subtle song. I don't know if I'm hearing the jukebox really. It's so ambient, but whatever. It's yeah, I think I am. Here's the menu. We got Jupiter roast, sliced pork roast, green bean, bacon. But that's a very, home cooking menu, Seraph. I was hoping for something more, ethnic. But that's fine. Then we got this room, or no, that's just the outside. Okay. So that is pretty much it for this restaurant. It's important landmark. It fits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 2 bathrooms, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. About 16 chairs plus a couple sofas. Probably could squeeze half the colony in there. So that's pretty cool. So I think what I'll do is I'll try to drop off my stuff real quick before I go and explore anywhere else. But I do want to do more than just explore Seraph's Fine Dining. I'll probably explore that other building over there. So let's drop our stuff off real quick. Okay, I just took a minute off camera there to sort through my inventory, get it organized a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and drive down a little ways here, down to where I was, over by Seraph's Fine Dining, and this building that's attached to it. You can kind of think of it, there's a tall building, and then there's the little corridor, and then there's the small building that's the restaurant. And we're probably going to do the tall building. I think it makes sense. And I think it's, this is apartment C, I can't remember, but grab these boxes real quick with the scrap. Just do a once over around the perimeter, make sure I didn't miss any of the crate boxes. I already did this corridor, but we'll swing down here one last time. Clan Club is under this building, so we actually, I think I was kind of thinking backwards, that Clan Club is under the building, so we've already explored there. So we'll go ahead and explore the main part of the building now. And again, I think this is apartment C or possibly B. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and check these. This is the residence of the Stasov family. Nice Russian surname. And primarily looking for lockers and crates. Just looking for general loot. Here's a locker. Let's check this. A data pad from Jasenko. Check that in a second. Nothing in the beds as usual. They need to do something. Either people need to start using those as inventories, or they need to stop having an inventory. 400 liters. Okay, so that's the 2 lockers. And a 3rd locker with some space credits. Okay, let's take a look at that data pad. I think that's it. A little bathroom over here. These would be very pleasant places to live, these apartments. I don't know what that is, but anyway. So that's the Yusov or whatever it is residence, and Jasenko Stasov. I got a message from Freddy that the door to the storage under the nightclub is stuck again, and since it's down in the sewers, it's our job to fix it. Now I lost a fair sum of credits to that mobster in a bet. So if you take your sweet time, say a week or two, in fixing the door, I would understand. So I'm gonna mark that broken door on the map, and I think I've already marked it as a locked door, but yeah, let's just mark that so I know that I need to go there and just double check. And it sounds like Stasov or Kasov or whatever it is upset with the nightclub owner Freddy. All right, this is the Ortiz family. Let's take a look in here. And quite an interesting place. Again, very similar layout to the other place. There's a crate here, nothing in it. Here's a locker. Get some space credits and a gun. And a pad. We'll take a look at that. Inez Ortiz. Hayes' mom and dad went hiking for a few days. You know, house party time. Oh, this is an invitation about a house party. Don't invite Boris the bouncer. Just tell your friends it's actual medicine for my parents. Okay, so this is an invitation from Belinda Kaufman to Inez Ortiz to come have a house party at the medical center. And they're going to apparently abuse medical drugs there. Apparently the doctor went out hiking or something. I wonder if the doctor's like up in the mountains dead somewhere. It's an interesting theory, but okay, so that's an interesting clue about this child, Inez Ortiz. Went over to the Kaufmans for a party. Just another bathroom and stuff. I think it's pretty generic, to be honest. So we'll go ahead and check the next one. And this is going to be... Oh, is there a next one? Okay, there is one more. Looks like the roof is all that's left after this. This is the Garaz family. Garza. Nothing in that bed. Little living room, beautiful. Wouldn't mind living in this space. Take a look at the lockers. Power cell. A couple of them. That's a small battery's worth. Take a look back here. There's Jamie Garza's pad. Take a look at that. I've heard rumors about some of the urgent medical issue at hand or something like that. I thought that I could offer my supply of medical components and kits for the good. This is from Archie Floyd, Archie's Pawn Shop. The thing is, I would need you to make some of those disappear from the medical center storage first. If you would like to make some nice profit, take these supplies into the following cave. Okay, so Archie Floyd is trying to get Jamie Garza to take some medical supplies and bury them in a cave to make medical components more scarce so you can make some money during a medical crisis. That's pretty disgusting. But this is par for the course. This is the Lost Colony in Sunset Valley, which is just a lot of people acting horribly in the midst of a truly profound crisis. And I think that's the story of Sunset Valley, is that when things started to break down, people started acting really nasty. Okay, so just another beautiful room or residence. And then we'll check out the roof real quick. And that'll finish this building. Alright, so looking up here, and obviously it's raining or fog out right now. There's Mars or whatever. And yeah, it looks pretty good. Nothing significant up here, so I think we'll call it for this building and head probably back to the car, I imagine, to the antenna. Okay, and I'm back down here. I unloaded everything into the car for the most part, with a few exceptions. I grabbed a few components because I wanted to check out that broken door, which should be right back here. Maybe see if I can get it repaired and grab the loot from there, which I assume is there. So here's the nightclub, and Yeah, let's go back to the door, which should be right to the left here. Well, I have to go down to the sewers. Okay. And here. Okay, so yeah, it's the same as the previously marked unlocked door. And I can repair quite a bit of it. The only thing I don't have is glass, but I have enough to repair it and open it. Okay, good. Let's take a look at the racks. Okay, we get a high speed or rapid fire rifle, which is great. Okay, we got some stuff in here, some credits and good components, reactor components. That's good. And some gold and platinum. Great. Nice little stash. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So let's head back up. And now I don't have to worry about repairing that door anymore. Oh, jeez, it's always hard to remember how to get out of here, but here it is. Okay. So that's a pretty good haul. I don't have to worry about carrying components on my person anymore, so I can really unload that kind of thing. Okay, let's head back over to the car. There's a cute little small version of the same car right there. But let's get all this stuff out of here. We have quite a nice little collection in our car that we're developing. Okay, I had to turn the car on so I can access the cargo containers. Let's try to get this going into one of the cargo containers at least. Okay, hang tight. Okay, so I've unloaded everything into the car, and I put the rapid fire rifle on my character bar there. So just checking these crates right over here. This is the another building I don't think I've really looked at. Oh, okay. Here's the. This is interesting. This is a store, it looks like, or some sort of emporium or something. Let's get these crates real quick. Okay. Well, there's nothing else around the side of the building, I don't think. I think I already checked those. So, all right, let's take a look inside. Let's start out the top floor this time. This might be apartment C. It's either B or C. It's the one that the one we just did isn't. And we have corridors. Okay, so this is Lewandowski and Archie and Nancy Floyd. Okay, so let's do Lewandowski first. This looks like a little bachelor pad, a little solo one-person apartment. And, yeah, there's a locker here. Okay, we got a pad. Let's read that. For the duration of the vacation, we might have some well-paid extra work. If you're interested, come see us at our office. We can talk more. Julius Vaughn. So the Vaughn brothers are hiring Lewandowski for some odd job. And I think did we get a GPS? I think we got a GPS off of that. Okay. And then we'll check out the these guys. A small 2-bedroom, and hopefully there's a pad. Yep, okay, good. Alright, this is going to be from... There's a Jack, but heard over at Freddy's bar that farmer Leroy Holloway talking about a hiking trip with friends. Coffins probably had some nice stuff too. Daughter having a house party. Holloway, however, is being single and having his farm far away. Really nice stuff. Hid the loot. Okay, so this guy went and knocked off the Holloway farm, hid stuff in a cave, got away a few months before he started selling it. Put the Archie's loot cave on the GPS there. So again, when the doctor supplier goes on a hike and the daughter throws a house party, he goes and loots the neighbor farm. Real classy stuff there. So we'll just check the rest of these crates and see if there's any more lockers in here. But, you know, again, another story of people behaving badly when there's a crisis. What else is new? I love these bathrooms that face out with the window. I think that's great. Okay, so that's Lewandowski and whatever the other two were, I can't remember. Nothing down there, so we'll go up to the next one. And this is another corridor. And we have two more apartments. Again, we've got a single Luke Weaver, and then the other one. Okay, so the single apartment, bathroom. Again, I would love to live in a place like this. This seems very spacious for such a minimal place, but whatever. And it seems clean, importantly. So I'm sure in the future there's things to help clean. Son, could you at least bring us a few superconductors while you're drinking and partying all your money away with your friends at the Carosa Valley? My mom is getting worried about you. It's bad enough that you had to abandon the family business, but to spend more and more time away in such a wretched hive of scum villainy. It's breaking her heart. That's from the Luke Weaver's mom. Reference to the Star Wars cantina, or Mos Eisley, the city, hive of scum and villainy, not scum villainy. This is Jamar and Zayn Kareem's apartment, a double, so slightly bigger, but not much. These beds are pretty much just out in the open. And in here we've got another locker, so let's check that out. Alright, cool. Another pad. Let's take a look at what that has to say. Email from Sunset Valley Administration. Well, we can't stop you from claiming the nickel deposit right on top of your current employer's, Vasquez Mining, mine, since the owner hasn't claimed it yet. We strongly recommend you reconsider. Felix Wilco. So it looks like Kareem wants to claim a nickel deposit that's kind of right next to the Vasquez mine, who employs the guy. So we'll go ahead and mark that GPS on our map. And let's see if there's anything else in here. Another one of these wall bathrooms that has a window. Again, beautiful. Like, take a shower, look at the thing, look out at the window. Okay, and that's Luke Weaver. Okay, so then is there another one on top of this? I'm guessing yes. Yes, there is. Okay, one more corridor and then the roof. Okay, this corridor, we have a sign, and we've got Katie Cortez and the Mackenzies. Okay, so we'll do Katie Cortez, a single apartment again. Bathroom inside, no window. Timer block there. They use timer block sometimes as decorations. Okay, we do have Katie Cortez's pad. I'll read that. Selling magnesium in the black market from an unclaimed ore mine isn't exactly livable, but I gotta live somehow. And now no one is using the magnesium cave. Anyway, maybe when I have made enough money to claim the site, I can create my own mining company. So Katie Cortez has a aspiration to become a magnesium miner, and in the meantime, she's selling black market magnesium and has a cave. We're gonna mark that on our map and move on. Yeah, you can't really interact with these kitchen components. I think it's such a neat block, but it's purely decorative, and I wish you could interact with it. I think that would make it more immersive. Let's take a look at the Mackenzies. I've heard that name before. I don't recall what they do. Hopefully there's a pad we can take a look at. Take their money as well. From Barry McKenzie. There's rumors among the miners that Vaughn Brothers may have found an old ruin entrance right here in their mine. Just thought I'd let you know. I know, you don't want me to be a mole in your inspection of the Vaughn Brothers. Okay, so, and a GPS. So, the Mackenzie husband, I think, is investigating the Vaughn Brothers, and the wife caught wind of some information about a old bunker in their mine. So, we'll take a look at that. Mackenzie, that pad also said something about the miners were talking about Vaughn Brothers discovering that old ruin. So maybe the Mackenzie spouse is a miner, and maybe I can't remember if it's the male or the female. Hold on one second. Actually, yeah, I just looked it up. Lena Mackenzie is investigating, and Barry Mackenzie is the miner, or somebody who's associated with the Vaughn Brothers or mining in general, such that he would have heard that rumor. Here's a dead guy and some fungus on the roof with some crates. Nice. So Lena Mackenzie is presumably a detective or a law enforcement official of some sort, or an investigator of some sort. But something I think I've heard the Vaughn brothers come up before. They seem like a very powerful family in this colony, so we'll definitely want to check them out and see what they're doing. I really like the bulb coming off of the apartment A building there. You know what I mean? I think that's really cool. Actually, all of these buildings are very well designed. Um, okay, well, I think, and that gives us a pretty good view of town as well. But that's pretty much it for this building. So, and that's about as far out as I can get. Um, but I'll pick things back up when we get to the bottom. Okay, and we're back down here, and this is that little store under that same building, and just right away we notice that there's an ATM and there's some little areas that look like storage lockers almost, and it's really cleverly built. And here's the actual store block, but let me just kind of peruse real quick before I shop at the store. We get some scrap there and a couple locked doors, so I definitely want to mark these. Let's get that marked on our GPS. And I'll just do locked doors, plural for that. And then, yeah, store, I'll call it. But there was something back here, it looks like, with an open door, and I definitely want to check in there at some point. I'm assuming I can get in there when I get the reactor up and running. But let's go ahead and take a look back here. We got some more crates. Iron, good. I love getting raw iron. Magnesium, so for weapons and such. And our inventory is getting kind of full at this point. But we'll take what we can, and I should probably go ahead and make a run to the car real quick. Hang tight. Okay, I actually drove the car down here. I put all my stuff in it, and I just thought it would be a little easier to handle because there's quite a few loot crates back here, and I wanted to make sure I was able to conveniently get all my stuff in the car. And I'm really glad I'm using this big capacity double medium cargo container vehicle, because anything less than that, I think I'd have been full up already. Um, if you're playing this scenario at home as well, you'll need to make these decisions about which vehicle to use. There's one with the survival kit, which is very useful for respawning and healing, and then there's one with passenger seats for good for multiple players, and then there's one with multiple cargo containers. Uh, maybe a little bit less resilient to uh, weapons fire and that sort of thing. So each of them has an advantage. Okay, let's take a look at the store. We can buy uranium ore. That stands out right away. Ice and ammo and a couple of rifles. So especially that uranium ore looks quite potentially valuable if we're going to do anything with reactors at some point. Um, but we can sell certain things. Gravity components we could sell explosives, certain rifles, and actually those rifles sell for quite a bit. We could make money that way, but we only have a limited supply of platinum, so we probably don't want to do that. But um, I'll think about whether it makes sense to try to sell anything else here. But in the meantime, it's just good to know that that exists, and I think I've marked it on the map, and I think we've accessed all the open doors we can in this building. So with that, let's go ahead and move on, and I'll go ahead and just actually let's dump our stuff real quick. Uh, go ahead and go down to the cargo container where we have room left. We have just a little bit of room left yet in cargo container 1, so we might as well start cargo container 2. Okay, got that done. Got all our stuff in there. Duplicates, for the most part, organized properly. Now, zooming out a little bit, we can see that this apartment has almost like a power line connector to this reactor building, or this waste treatment building. I can't remember which one it is. And we've already checked that, but I just want to kind of figure out what I have left. I think I have a couple buildings down here, and then that administrative building. Okay, so this is the Velasco family home. It's locked. There's a dead guy outside, presumably one of the occupants of the building. You know, these little things, these houses almost look like they have swimming pools, don't they? It's kind of cool. Well, let's uh, let's go ahead and check the roof, make sure nothing's up here. We got that antenna again. Yeah, it looks like a swimming pool, I gotta say. Um, this would be a very pleasant place to live. I just keep saying that, don't I? Okay. Um, and I cannot access the door yet, so we'll have to make a GPS here, come back to it. Getting quite a few locked doors, but I think this will be good just to make sure I don't miss any later. Um, okay, so then the next building, I think, arguably is this building here. I mean, it depends on how you want to do it, but yeah, let's go ahead and get these containers. And this is really good building. These are, what are they called? Conveyor, they're like hoppers from Minecraft, but they're used there cosmetically. Can I open that? Yes, I can. Great. So we do have the ability to interface with this, and we've got a button panel that probably allows us to do that. You know, it's common knowledge for advanced Space Engineers players that, you know, the P button, which I use frequently in this playthrough to lock and unlock my connectors, is actually not necessarily the best way to go sometimes because, and I've already searched through some of this because it was connected to the sewers under the nightclub, so I think I already cleaned out some of that, but the P button will have the unfortunate side effect of unlocking any connected vehicle to a station if you use it while you're in control of the station. So you want to individually do connector locks through commands like a button panel or even just putting it in your hotbar rather than using the P shortcut. Uh, that's a technique that is undeniable, yet I still find myself not doing it a lot of the time. But anyway, that appears to be the roof, and I don't see anything up here. Not quite as festive as some of those houses, I guess. But let's see if I can jump down here without dying. Okay, and let's take a look. I'm not sure if I think this is connected to the sewer access, authorized personnel only. Yeah, so we've already been through here, I think. Yeah, definitely. And if I recall, that leads to a room where there's like a assembler or something, maybe a refinery. But let's try to find areas of this building we haven't done. This is kind of bad organization on my part because I allowed myself to explore part of that building when I was exploring the sewers, and I really need to find the parts of the building, if any, that I haven't explored. So that's kind of this issue of not knowing what I've done exactly. Okay, so we did find a little section here that I think we haven't explored, and that's good. So, but you know, it connects up with the section that we clearly have explored, so it is tricky. But let's continue and see if we can just clear out the building at the very least and check on everything, make sure we got everything, that kind of thing. Yeah, nothing in those. I think I vaguely remember that room. And I definitely remember this because that's where it connects to the sewers. We've been upstairs before, so is that it? I think that might be it. So the waste treatment facility is basically the part of the sewer that we've explored 90% of, so really didn't get a whole lot of new information there. But let's go over and I guess we'll check out this reactor building now. It's connected, I think, to everything, and it's obviously it's an important building because part of our quest that we were given, or at least one of the contracts we were given, and I think it's alluded to in some of the pads, is to restart the reactor. So this is a very important location for this scenario, and I'm looking forward to getting in there. But first, let's take a look outside. Out here, we've got another use of that cosmetic hopper what do you call it? The intakes for those conveyors. Uh, Conveyor frame, is it? I don't know. Anyway, and then we've got quite a bit of infrastructure out here, so we'll keep exploring a little bit, seeing what we can find. Uh, yeah. So there's clear. Okay, here's a unlocked door. That could be important. There's the edge of the safe zone, and this is the nuclear power plant sign. So we can go in there, but then we've got this garage with a broken button panel. I'm not sure that I have enough. Yeah, I don't have anything close to enough to repair it, but we'll go ahead and continue the outside. There's a dead guy. I wish I could, like, go through. I mean, this is probably ambitious, but maybe I could get in creative mode and go through this and kind of identify the dead guys, because it's really interesting to know who's who. And you could probably do a lot through process of elimination, but yeah. And there's a bit of a railing here that implies there's a pathway that we can walk along. And there's some crates over here. Take a look at those. We got some reactor components. I have the feeling we're going to need those. And yeah. So let's, and there's a ladder here. I think we can jump down there perhaps. But, yeah, there's the dead guy again. So I think we should probably go in the door. I think that's our best bet for exploring the interior. So let's go ahead and start. Alright, entering this first room, there's nothing there. There's a locker on this upstairs, like a reception almost. And we'll grab those components. Actually, there's computers I think I can use on the button panel out there. But we'll go on in, and the only path forward we have a bit of an elevator, so a superficial elevator, and then we have a stairwell. Let's go upstairs first. Upstairs we have a decorative window area, but then we have another direction to go, and it looks like an office. Check these crates. And we'll check this room back here. Okay, there's a reactor bicycle. I always call it a bicycle. It's like a, and there's some reactor, that's great, and motors. We can maybe repair that button panel. Here's a pad, let's read that. At first, the nuclear power plant might seem excessive for a small colony at Sunset Valley. However, Argonaut Industries anticipates rapid growth of the colony and its industries in the coming years, and as such, provide the infrastructure to advance. Acosta, Eobale, Acosta, and Kozlov are the nuclear folks. So one of those guys outside might be one of the Acostas or Kozlo, who knows. This is the bicycle I referenced. I can't use it, but it's a control seat. And to me, it looks like a exercise equipment, but whatever. And it looks like connection problem detected. I can't connect to the communication tower or send the emergency signal out. So I guess that's kind of a control panel for the use of the emergency, well, I guess the power plant links directly to the control panel somehow. Going down those stairs in that stairwell, I'm finding a crate here with more reactor components, and my inventory is starting to fill up, and some other random items as well. And then we've got some more crates back here, and take a look at those, just random building components, and some scrap. And our inventory is getting quite full indeed, so maybe we'll have to go back to the car at some point. And our car's getting kind of full in some ways too, but we'll cross that bridge. So going back to the stairwell again, trying to find my way back. Let's just go back to the car and unload real quick. And as before, I'm going to just drive my car down there so I have much easier access. It's kind of tricky driving through these streets sometimes, especially when your car gets kind of full, because it obviously, weighs down the car, makes it less mobile and that sort of thing. But let's go ahead and drive our car right down here, find a nice, stable place to park it in front of, ooh, we're getting a little fast there. a stable place to park it right in front of the power plant so that we have easier ability to load up and unload. And I already put my stuff in the car off camera there, so um, we'll go ahead and maybe right in front of this garage would be a good place, probably. Ooh, careful. Okay, so this should be fine right about here. Um, just got to find a place where it's not going to roll down the hill, you know. And then if I had been thinking, I would have fixed that button panel so I could have just parked it in the garage, but that's fine. Should be good there, and I've got my inventory opened up again, so let's go back to where we were. Oh, that's cool. There's the window of the garage. I didn't really look in there, but that is cool. And going back to the stairwell, we go down this time and through this passage, and here's where we were, more or less, and we just have to take a look at all these crates and see if there's anything in them, make sure we didn't miss any. Okay, there's full batteries. I wonder how many batteries are attached to these buildings, you know, because for story reasons, these buildings need to function for day after day after day for this to work. So I'm guessing they have just a whole bunch of batteries so that they don't need to have power. I mean, some of the buildings do have power, but some of them clearly are designed for role-playing purposes not to have power. And so they must have quite a few batteries to make that work. But anyway, let's continue on. So there's some more crates and stuff and some lockers that we're checking out. Let's check these crates. Air compression in that door, interesting. Alright, there's a button panel. One flaw of this game is it's hard to know that button panel activations have done anything. I wish there'd be like a better sound cue for that. I really do. But this is reactor assembler toggle block on. So the assembler we can turn on and off, but again it won't let us. So we'll see about that. But here is something. This is these are unbuilt wheels that are just cosmetic. Okay, but this is the coolant area. So and there's definitely some damage here. And I don't think I have enough components to fix it, but I do have a little bit. Oh, actually I do. I have enough to get it functional again. So that's cool. Yeah, so let's go ahead and we'll probably have to come back to that, but we've got it functional and not burning, which is always nice. Like when you see a block that's burning, you always think something's about to explode, so it's great to not have to worry about that. But going up here, we see some more fungus and some crates and a dead guy. Again, I wish I knew which dead guy it was. There's 4 nuclear people in this department, so it could be one of them. And it's a couple timer blocks. I think, again, a lot of these timer blocks, they might be functional, but realistically, they're kind of cosmetic, I think, a lot of the time in this scenario. And then there's the coolant tank pit area here. Let's see if we can go down here and check this out. Got some hydrogen tanks, a ladder. I think that ladder goes over to the other side where we were previously. We'll check that out in a minute. And then this is the other side of that coolant pump. And again, we can put some ice in there or whatever. I think that's the idea, is that it pumps ice or whatever into the reactor chamber. You know, coolant into the reactor chamber. Alright. So we'll go ahead and we can't get down there, but that looks like it's toxic waste area. There's the other side of that window where the dead guy was. And just to kind of finish things up, let's go back over here and check this ladder out that we didn't check out earlier. We can actually jump right to it, and it takes us up on a catwalk along here. This is the top side of these hydrogen tanks that we saw a second ago. Nothing I can do over here, but it's cool. It's a well-built system. I really like the aesthetics of this. Alright, let's head back up to the entrance to the coolant area. And that's where that panel, or the button, yep, there's the control button. And again, this appears to be the actual reactor now. Okay, so we've got a couple signs. Coolant system we already checked out. We have some instructions here. Step 1, make sure the coolant's online. Step 2, the coolant pump must have access to ice. Step 3, well, then we had to repair the reactor, and then we have to reactivate the reactor. So that's kind of the order of things. And we've already done step one, which is to repair the coolant system. And let's take a look at this pad. It just has a repeat of what we just read. We're going to need some, it says we need some various components to repair the reactor. So that's pretty cool. There's a button. I don't think we can do anything with that yet, but let's continue checking this out. We've got a couple of crates here with some superconductors and reactor components. We can't get in there yet, which is interesting. And I can't use those buttons to activate it. So I think what I need to do is I think I need to fill up the coolant tank with ice, and that should allow me access to the reactor room to start repairs there. So that's what we're going to do at some point, maybe even real soon, I'm not sure. Actually, you know, those windows, it looks almost like outer space with that safe zone. They look like stars. It's kind of cool, out those windows. But let's go back to the car for now. And I think what we're going to need to do is make a pit stop back home. And that is 90% of the town exploration. So we'll probably try to, you know, move things along by finishing up the town, but I really think this car is getting kind of full. Zooming out again, you know, there's the reactor building, and we do have it labeled in pink, which is my notable locations color. Yeah, okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and just go home at this point with all of our stuff, get it sorted, see if we can get our base going. We need some ice anyway, I think, so let's go home real quick. And going home in a weighted down vehicle, which we haven't really used much for a while to make long journeys, is an interesting proposition. But we'll go ahead and go, and hopefully it will be nice and easy for us to figure out what to do next once we get kind of recombobulated. These roads are well crafted and I think probably tested. I'm guessing somebody tested all these roads to make sure that you could drive them fairly safely without tipping. One flaw of this game, of course, is that the physics are good, such that the sort of normal video game shortcuts, like higher speed than you'd expect, cause actual real-world consequences like flipping a vehicle. Now, these vehicles are well designed. They do have gravity generators offset, so you can use the gravity generator to make the vehicle flip different directions once you've rolled it, but we're going to keep going here. Now, there's a couple of farms out here, it looks like, and maybe I should make an effort to visit those farms on my way home, just to get them out of the way. I do have a little bit of extra space in my vehicle, so yeah, might as well. So I'll just kind of get a nice angle here and try to go up here to this farm and see what's going on out here. And I do like the fact that they've created a central colony area, and they've created a farm, you know, various farms that contrast those two. You know, you have apartments and then you have farms and such, and I like that, so that's cool. Okay, so going into the this farm, we've got a grain silo or whatever you want to call it over here. So let's take a look at that. There's a dead guy over by it. There's a field. You know, just using voxels to create the impression of a wheat field or something. And then we got, yeah, there's the dead guy. So he had a rough one. Presumably he's one of the farmers, but we'll try to piece that together in a second. We've got sort of the cosmetic bin, uncompleted wheel look up here, which is pretty cool. And not a lot we can do in there, so let's jump into the actual farm real quick. And yeah, we'll take a look on the roof. Not anticipating anything being up here, but we'll see there's an antenna. You know, with the new weather from Sparks of the Future update, those antennae might act as lightning rods too. So it's kind of cool. But anyway, let's go on and check out the interior. And, you got a standard bathroom here. It's kind of similar to that one apartment layout that we checked out in the last episode. Or was it earlier this episode? I don't even remember. But we do have some beds and a locker. Let's see if there's anything in the locker. Okay, we do have a pad. I want to read that. Jared and Rita Cobb filed a complaint for harassment and sabotage. We bought some excess fertilizer from the Han since they didn't need it. I don't understand what we have ever done to them. We consider them to be our friends, but for reasons unknown, they mixed some poison in with the fertilizer. So we got a map marker for the Han family, and they seem to be having a dispute. Actually got both of them, Han and Cobb. So we'll check out the other farm next episode, but they seem to be having some sort of dispute between them about the purchase of fertilizer. This episode's getting kind of long, so I think I'm going to finish just taking a look inside here, but I think we're going to call it an episode. We got a lot done. We finished exploring the city for the most part. We checked out one of these farms. We'll have to finish exploring some areas around the outskirts of the city as well, but we're making really good progress, and I'm very pleased with how we're doing. So let's call it an episode. Thank you so much for watching. And we do have some sunlight peeking in for the morning here. So that's pretty cool. This game does a interesting, flawed but really respectable job with simulated sunlight, and I do appreciate that. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time on the Lost Colony Space Engineers.